All right, how you doing? This is Len Nevin with Loyalty Home Group at EXP Realty. I just want to talk real quick about the news that we've been reading over the weekend. So we've seen a couple banks basically be re-seized by the Fed. We saw the Silicon Valley Bank and we saw Signature Bank out of New York fail over the weekend. And pretty much I've been reading, it's all I've been reading about all weekend, right? Because I believe that's my job as your local economist of choice to understand what's happening in the markets and be able to decipher what's happening in the markets. So here's my quick take on this. I'm not going to take too much time on this. As you can see, I don't know if you can see this background or not. If I switch over, I mean, all I'm reading about on these different sites is, Signature Bank, this bank, First Republic's dropping 60% in the stock market this morning. All these different things related to these two banks failing over the weekend. We haven't seen anything of this such since reminiscent of like 2008, right? So here's my personal take. Time will tell. We may look back in the future and go, this one didn't age well. But as of today, these are my thoughts on what's happening. So you take the Silicon Valley Bank, and what do they invest in primarily? They invest in, that's a place to go for tech companies, startups, that type of thing. Now, to me, as just a layman, regular person, that's what I would consider high risk, right? So you're hoping that, these things are going to do well. But we all saw what happened with, the dot-com bust of the early 2000s, where every website, no matter what it was just valued massively high, right? Everyone's like, oh, we're just going to throw millions of dollars at it, right? And I believe personally that we've been kind of seeing that again over the last few years. Every little tech company is just getting major boost. We saw, and this is, I'm a big fan of this company, right? So we'll use an example, this company called Rivian. So Rivian is an electric car company. Their valuation came out last year and it was the highest of all time, right? And I think it went up to over $150 a share. Right now I saw it this morning sitting about $16 a share. And it was high for about a few weeks and then it just kind of and it's going down. I believe in the company, actually. I have one of their cars on order. I love, the concept. I love everything about it. I drive a Tesla, so I'm looking forward to something a bit bigger with the electric. This isn't, I'm not from an environmental perspective. That's not my conversation about it. I just think personally the technology is just cool. They're fast. They're powerful. The fuel is cheaper. At least in Arizona, where I can put it on at night at 6 cents, 6 cents a kilowatt. So that was a tech stock that just went through the roof. And then how many people have lost out that money? So now you take Silicon Valley Bank. Not every tech company is going to be massive. Not every tech company is going to be a big boom. I mean, I see all these things all the time, and I'm like, oh, I'll try this, and then I just see the same crap over and over again, just different company name trying to sell me the same product. So a lot of redundancies in the market when it comes to that type of thing. Now we take Signature Bank. So Signature Bank out of New York, they're heavily invested in crypto. I'm not going to get into a debate about whether or not crypto is the future of currency or not or whatever. Today it's not. So I don't care. All we care about related to this bank's liquidity is what is it today. So where's a lot of their investments? Where's a lot of their things coming from? And if they're heavily invested in crypto, well, crypto today is not banking. Is it in the future? I don't know. And that's why I'm saying I don't want to get into the conversation. All I know is today, I don't know how to go buy Bitcoin and then go to the grocery store and use that Bitcoin to buy what I'm trying to buy. I can't do that. Maybe there's a couple places in California where you can do that. But as of today, I can't just go and swipe and have that automatically pull out of my crypto account. So that's what I'm saying as far as, the average person is not looking to crypto to be their bank account and have it go up and down in value as they're just depositing money in there. It's not readily available. If it is readily available, it's not readily knowledgeable, where the average person, I couldn't tell my mom what to do and how to make this work. She's going to be confused. I think anybody, 40 or over is going to be confused. Even 35 and over is going to be like, yeah, I really don't know how to take the money I have in here and just go buy a pair of shoes with it. So I think that's what the disconnect. When I buy on Amazon, I can't just use and go pull from my crypto account, right? These aren't options available to me. So that's my take on what's happening with these banks. Wells, Chase, whenever we do anything together with what we have going, We're just not seeing, yeah, I'm not seeing Wells Fargo, Chase Bank heavily invested in risky things the way that we see these ones are. Now, this video, like I said, may not air well, or may not age well a year from now, 3 months from now, 2 weeks from now. I don't know. That's just my personal take on it. I'm in the housing industry. I sell real estate. Real estate, even when the value dropped, guess what? It was still, four walls and a door, right? And it still existed. So the only time you could lose that is if you can pay for it. If you had paid for it, it was yours forever. And, that's the beautiful thing about real estate is it's still a tangible asset. It's still something that you can touch, breathe, all that fun stuff. So that's my take on this. I'm not really too concerned about all of a sudden these big dominoes, all of a sudden this trickle effect of, all these big banks going, I remember the big conversation back in 2008, too big to fail. I don't really necessarily see that. We don't see risky investments in the mortgage industry. We're not seeing massive, we're not seeing any uptick in the foreclosure piece of real estate, mainly because most people, or really any loan that I saw over the last 5, 10 years, every one of those had skin in the game. We don't have all these 100% financing loans on homes. We don't have all these, D paper being sold as A paper. People are what they were, and if they had to qualify, we saw stricter guidelines on debt to income ratios. We weren't seeing it get pushed up. For the last 3 years, honestly, anybody with marginal credit, they weren't buying a house because they couldn't buy a house because they couldn't compete. So everybody who bought a home over the last 3 to 5 years had massive cash to get into their home. So, we didn't see FHA loans. We didn't see, even VA loans. We had to fight hard for those. And I'm a big believer in the VA loan. And I don't believe that the VA loan is a, predatory product. I don't believe it's a subpar product. I think it's something that somebody deserves for the time that they put in to, put their own life on the line. Once again, another conversation. But people who bought homes over the last 3 to 5 years had massive skin in the game. They're not going to just want to walk away with that. So you're not going to see a massive glut of foreclosures. You don't have ARMs maturing where, they got in for super cheap and now the ARM is due, and it's going to double their rate. Everybody I've seen, every deal I did personally over the last 5 years had a fixed rate mortgage. Fixed. No ARMs, nothing goofy. Everything I touched was fixed rate mortgage on the listing side, on the buyer side, everybody on our team. It was always fixed rate mortgage. I haven't had one of my lenders say, yeah, we're going to put that on an ARM product. What? I mean, that's just, we haven't been doing that. So that's kind of the take on that. I don't really see any, we're probably going to see some shuffling, maybe a little bit of, pause for some people. But overall, I think what we're going to see is, it's just going to go back to, these banks need to be monitoring where they're doing their investments. And we're in a market now where, risky investments are going to come back to bite you. And any of the banks that have been doing traditional quality investments, they're going to come out ahead and they're going to win. And they're going to probably be able to buy up these other banks and their assets and just make their books bigger. So I don't see Armageddon coming. That's my take on it. I'd love to hear your comments below. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm here to learn. So I'm not saying I'm right. I'm here to learn. I'm posing this as a question more than as a statement. So tell me something I didn't see, and I'd love to continue that conversation because, like I said, I'm here to learn. Thanks.